Some of the store owners are so confident that they're not even moving their stuff from the sidewalk, they're just leaving it here. And you have to ask yourself a question, why are they so confident? Why do they know that nothing's going to happen, that their stuff won't be confiscated? Why are they that confident? And then maybe you'll understand what's going on. Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road. Right now they're issuing tickets to a number of jeepneys for illegal loading, unloading and illegal terminals. There are a number of signs in the area warning drivers, and the team are now looking at this van parked in front of 7-Eleven. He has handed over his license, and they're also looking to issue a ticket to this car for parking on the sidewalk. And likewise, just behind that, they're issuing a ticket to this electric jeepney, also obstructing the sidewalk. And while they're writing out the ticket to this one, we can take a little look. It's made by Tojo Motors, so Philippine made. It does have the side loading entrance, so no more loading at the back. You get on and off at the sidewalk. Plus on the inside you'll see, of course it is electric, so they've got the batteries on charge. Lead acid, they just go under the seat itself, so it's a good use of space. You have the taller ceilings, so easier loading, unloading. There should also be CCTV somewhere, although I don't actually see that, so maybe they haven't installed it yet. Over there you've got an automatic fare collection system. A lot of debate about those at the moment because there's no consistency between modernized Jeeps. There's so many different payment systems. But yeah, modernized electric jeepney. And in fact, here's one of them operating right now. And likewise, they'll also be issuing a ticket to this jeepney for obstructing the sidewalk. You'll see this one here is also a modernized Jeep, although styled to look more like the traditional jeepney. Again, it has a side loading door instead of back loading, and slightly, oh I didn't realize there's someone sleeping inside, slightly taller ceiling also. That's one of the requirements under the modernized jeepneys. They just stopped this motorcycle here. He was driving on the sidewalk against the flow, basically counterflowing but using the sidewalk. And here's something I don't understand about tricycles, why their terminals are very often facing the wrong direction, making them counterflow every day. Anyway, one of the enforcers is warning him now, if you drive that way you're going to be ticketed for counterflow because their terminal is just over there. And right now they're writing out a ticket to this one for illegal parking on a corner. So instead of counterflowing, what they decided to do was just push it, but it's effectively the same thing. They're going to cause traffic congestion by going against the flow of traffic. Anyway, you'll see the sidewalk clearing team here have obviously confiscated this cart, and right now they're issuing a ticket to this one parked on the sidewalk motorcycle. And they just stopped this motorcycle right here for driving without helmet, and unfortunately he doesn't have a driver's license. He only has a student permit. That permits him to learn under the supervision of a licensed driver, not to drive around by himself, especially without helmet. It used to be that they would impound motorcycles, they called them driving without license, or any kind of vehicle, car, truck, van. Unfortunately, MMDA haven't had any towing for so many months now, it's just ridiculous. So the most they can do is write out a ticket to the plate number and let him on his way, continue driving. And over here they're issuing tickets to these 3 motorcycles parked on the sidewalk, and they're also issuing a ticket to this motorcycle parked on the sidewalk. So right now they have a problem. There's 3 tricycles here, none of them have any plates, none of them have any drivers, so there's no way to ticket them, no way to move them, because of course they still don't have any towing or impounding. The one in the middle is electric, which means the sidewalk clearing team could technically put it on the back of their truck, but I don't know if they will. I guess we'll wait and see. Unfortunately, this is the problem right now. If you remove your plate, nobody can issue you a ticket. You'll see this one actually has a sticker on the front that says Pasay City E-Trike Cooperative. There are so many Colorum tricycles in Pasay City, it's really out of control. They compete with jeepneys, they compete with franchise tricycles, and it's a big problem. Anyway, it looks like they are going to load this onto the truck. I'm not exactly sure how. I wonder if they're going to be able to lift this. It will be very heavy with the lead acid batteries. Okay, there you go. They need some help though. It's a shame they can't drop the gates at the back here. Okay, there you go. Good job. and there you go, it's pretty much on. They can tie it down like that, or they can bring the other wheel inside also. You can almost guarantee that one of these people standing here is the driver of this tricycle, but they won't get their license because they know the MMDA can't ticket if there's no license and no plate. And the team just moved in on these 3 vehicles parked on the sidewalk. There was also a vulcanizing shop at the back. Again, their customers obstructing the sidewalk, although I think they got lucky today. They just stopped this young tricycle driver here for driving in slippers. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a license. Again, he only has a student permit. Not much they can do. The person who owns the tricycle has just arrived and handed over his license. The problem is they can't impound the tricycle, they can't ticket the student, and the plate, well, there is no plate, and there doesn't appear to be a registration. So really their only option is either to let it go without any punishment or to issue a ticket to the owner of the tricycle, because he does have a license. And they just flagged down this motorcycle rider. Unfortunately, no crash helmet, driving in slippers. Looks like he just went out to buy some food, but near or far, you really need to wear your helmet. And here in Baclaran, you'll see the vendors rushing to take their stuff off the sidewalk. This area here and the one under Baclaran LRT are both pretty much the worst. Anyway, over here they're issuing a ticket to this multi-cab for a legal terminal. They're not meant to be staying here and picking up passengers. One of the enforcers is now going after that man driving without helmet. He had it on his elbow for some reason. Although he's put the helmet on now, it is too late because when they saw him, he was driving without it. And I just saw the enforcers take a photo of this one. They believe it to be obstructing what should be a sidewalk area for pedestrians. That's why everyone's just walking in the road. And they're also issuing a ticket to this one for illegal parking in the road. And a member of the sidewalk clearing team has confiscated this barricade. What they often do is put this in the road itself to reserve parking, but it's not meant to be parking, it's meant to be a road for drivers to pass through. And here's a free shuttle going from PTEX Baclaran. Something that a lot of people complained about is, hey, how do we get to PTEX? So they're running this modernized jeepney. It's a beep jeep, and yeah, thumbs up, good idea. And I think the sidewalk clearing team are now going to be taking away these plants. It looks like they asked the owner to remove them because you can see some of them have been moved. The problem is it's made it into like a reserved parking area for motorcycles, but again, as far as I know, this is not actually meant to be a parking area. That's why the enforcers are issuing tickets to all of the motorcycles here. Again, you will notice a conflict here. You have the lane markings indicating this is really a lane for driving, but then somebody has put these cones here, put the plants there, and made it into like a parking area. But as far as the enforcers are concerned, this is a lane for driving, not for parking. It's a public road. So most of those motorcycles have already moved after being ticketed, and the sidewalk clearing team are coming in now. They'll be taking away the plastic cones and the barriers because, as they mentioned, this should be a road that you can drive through, so it doesn't make sense to have it partitioned off like this as if it's private parking. But if you look here on Redemptorist, you can see absolutely no more vendors on the sidewalk, completely cleared. Before, they were permitted here officially by the city. Now, no more. It's for pedestrians. You see a sign up here that says no parking on roadway, but just below that is 2 motorcycles parked. So they're asking for the license now to issue a ticket. Likewise, they're looking for the driver of this truck parked in the road or van so they can issue a ticket. And they're asking the driver of this one sitting on hazards for his license also. Hazard license for emergencies, not for parking. And typically under the LRT, you'll see the sidewalks disappear again. As I've mentioned in previous videos, so many of the barangay here actually work as vendors or with vendors or as protectors, and that's why there's no improvement in this area. You'll see they've also started going back into the middle again. If you look, you'll see everyone is forced to walk in the road. Why? Because the sidewalks are obstructed. How many times have the MMDA cleared this? And the thing is, they have a legitimate space inside, but they want to extend onto the sidewalk also. And this is a very busy road because there's so many people coming down from the train station. Even this eatery here, you'll see they're rushing to move their stores and drinks and everything else is on the sidewalk. The thing is, they'll move these items now, but as soon as the team leave, they will bring them back. And you'll notice there's no confiscation, anything like that. There's a lot of people sleeping here also. And well, same old story under the LRT. See this railing over here? They've already broken it so that they can pass through. And again, they've been running electricity to the center island because of course this is where they put their stores, especially at night time. And that should be removed by the sidewalk clearing team, to be honest, but It looks like they're just walking around observing. They're not actually enforcing anything. They're not confiscating anything today. And just on the outskirts of the LRT, you'll see lots of rolling carts. They're all rolling down the side. It's just like before. And well, the clearing has not been successful here. And we know why. You can just talk to the barangay and you'll know why. And just look at the people who are protecting the vendors every single day. Some of the store owners are now putting them at the bottom of the LRT. The problem is commuters are going to come down here, and what are they going to run into? A bunch of stalls. And of course, once the MMDA leave, they're going to roll those out again. I don't know why the SCOG team are just walking around doing nothing. So they confiscated 1 chair, 2 chairs. The commander of the team was asking them, why aren't you doing anything? And the SCOG actually had their own team leader. And yeah, well, 2 chairs. Roll away now, come back later. Same old Baclaran LRT. Some of the store owners are so confident that they're not even moving their stuff from the sidewalk. They're just leaving it here. And you have to ask yourself a question, why are they so confident? Why do they know that nothing's going to happen, that their stuff won't be confiscated? Why are they that confident? And then maybe you'll understand what's going on. They just blocked in 4 jeepneys for making a terminal here. They're asking this driver to move back because he's tried to drive away. They want him to pull to the side so they can issue a ticket. The problem is you've got cars coming around the corner from here. You've got vehicles coming from over there. And what the jeepneys do is they stay right here on the corner, often double parked or even triple parked, making this into a terminal, and it causes so much traffic in this area. That's why there are huge signs here which say no parking, waiting, stopping anytime, no loading and unloading anytime. So there's plenty of signage just warning them. You see one of the vendors over here is sweeping up the garbage, except it's just going into the sewer. And they moved all their drinks and stuff off the sidewalk to avoid confiscation. And now the sidewalk clearing team moved past. They're already bringing all the stuff out again. And over here you'll see a bunch of vehicles parked obstructing the sidewalk. That's why all of these people here are walking in the road. And oh well, there is a local traffic enforcer over there actually. Some of the team already drove past, so the commander was on the radio just now asking them to come back and ticket these 3 vehicles for obstructing the sidewalk. If you look here, you see more people walking in the road because a Jeep is parked on the sidewalk. So they're asking now for its license to issue a ticket. And they just stopped this motorcycle here. Mummy, daddy, baby, unfortunately no crash helmet. And they're leaving a ticket on this tricycle, unattended illegal parking, 2,000 peso. The owner of this one just came out, took his ticket and was smiling. I have a feeling that perhaps this vehicle isn't registered and that's why he's not worried about being ticketed to the plate number. And yes, there you go, last registered 2016. That's probably why he's smiling, because there's no way to make him pay that ticket if he's not registering his vehicle anyway. And they just stopped this small van here. The driver's not wearing a seatbelt. The interesting thing is it says perishable goods, but then it also says Barangay Higawad. They just flagged over this motorcycle here, unfortunately driving without crash helmet and wearing slippers. He does have a helmet, so he could have saved himself a 1,500 peso ticket. And although there is a lot of paid parking available in this area, there's a vehicle over there sitting on hazard, 3 more over there, same thing, and 1 more right here. There are so many signs, no parking, no parking, no parking. Signs are everywhere along this road. Anyway, the team are just writing out tickets now and then they'll move on. There's a lot of ambulances that pass through this road. And across SM Breeze, the team just moved in on all of these vans parked here. Every single day they're parked here. Unfortunately, there's not enough of the enforcers here, so some of them are managing to escape, but they're working with what they have. There is paid parking available inside the building over here. You'll see a sign, paid parking. If that's too expensive, there's paid parking further along the road starting from 40 peso. So there's no excuse to park in the road. You'll notice all of these say not for hire, employees only. These are used as a shuttle service. They pick up the employees from the condo building and they're here every single day. Same drivers, recognize them all already. They know the deal, hand over the license, take the ticket. Aside from all the vans in the road, there's also those that come onto the sidewalk itself. There's a taxi behind. Looks like there's a PMP over there as well, maybe for SEA Games because I saw a tent here before. Anyway, they're just issuing tickets to all of these and then they'll move on. And just further along, they're issuing a ticket to this one, taxi parked on the sidewalk. And there's also 2 private cars being ticketed over here. This one has its hazard lights on, but there's no driver inside. According to some people nearby, this has actually been sitting here for 3 days. But this vehicle is in very good condition and relatively clean. So that makes it quite unusual because you wouldn't expect to see it left for 3 days unattended. And I don't think I'm going to blur the plates on those vans today for 2 reasons. First of all, it's very difficult because whenever they see the team, they try to evade them, they try to run away. So it makes it very difficult to blur the plates. Number 2, why do I blur plates in the first place? To protect people's privacy. But these are not private vehicles. They're being used for shuttles, they're being used for commercial use, and every single day they're here obstructing the road. So I think it doesn't make sense to blur them anymore. And right now they're issuing a ticket to this one for obstructing the pedestrian lane. And it's actually a no parking zone, so same thing for the car behind. It's being ticketed for what they consider to be illegal parking. They're issuing tickets to these free tricycles. Same thing, they've turned this into a terminal. The problem with these tricycles is some of them don't have a license, so they'll write the ticket out to the plate number, but they're also not registered for how many years now. So of course they're not going to pay those tickets, and it just goes back to the same problem. No towing and pounding. You write tickets to people who aren't going to pay them. And right now the team are looking at all of these shops that are being built on the sidewalk, selling refrigerators and clothing and raincoats and all kinds of things. I don't know if they're going to do anything, if they're going to clear them, or if they're just going to, I'm not sure. You'll see the problem with this is that it forces everyone to walk in the road, including little children. And there's always a risk that a car or a truck or a van or something could come speeding past and run them down. I think that's it for today's operation, so thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos.